We're going to turn now to the House committee investigating the January 6th attack on the Capitol. They'll be holding their final public meeting on Monday. Chairman Benny Thompson says the panel will vote on possible criminal referrals out of their investigation and that its final report will be released online 2 days later. That's next Wednesday.
And this comes after the special counsel leading the Justice Department's investigation into January 6th and efforts to overturn the 2020 election subpoenaed several election officials in multiple battleground states. For more, let's bring in ABC News investigative reporter Katherine Faulders along with Jeff Robbins, former chief minority counsel to the U.S. Senate Permanent Subcommittee on Investigations. So, Katherine, what do we know at this point about these potential criminal referrals?
So I just caught up with Congressman Jamie Raskin, who is on this subcommittee that is making recommendations to the bigger committee about criminal referrals. He said that they've made their recommendations. They're in the process of finalizing them. But what we know is that they're looking at former President Trump, his associates, and it's not just referrals to the Department of Justice, for example. Thompson has told us that they're considering 5 or 6 different types of referrals. He means like the Congressional Ethics Committee, for example, those 5 members of Congress who didn't listen to the subpoenas, who just ignored them, Kevin McCarthy being one of them, and potential other outside government agencies here. We just don't totally know exactly what yet. They're still finalizing this, but it will look like a vote at this business meeting. They will have the vote on these referrals, and they'll release some sort of a contempt report, if you will. And Thompson told us that that would be accompanied by the evidence in those referrals, if, of course, they decide to issue them, which it seems like it's tracking that way.
So, Jeff, Donald Trump is the former president of the United States. He's also the leading candidate for the Republican Party. Polls show for the next presidential election in 2024. And here the committee is considering a criminal referral on President Trump. How do they weigh those factors? Should they come in? How do they come in? And what do you think the committee will be doing?
Well, hi to both of you. I'm sure the debate on the committee was, on one hand, why refer him to the Department of Justice when the Department of Justice is already investigating him? What does that do other than do something symbolic and hand the former president an argument that this is all political? The argument that I would expect to prevail on the other side is, how can we not refer him for criminal prosecution given the evidence that has been amassed? Don't we have to make a statement for history? Don't we have to make a statement to the American people? I would expect that that is the argument that's going to prevail next week.
So, Katherine, time's running out, though, for the January 6th committee. Republicans are preparing to take control of the House for next year. So what happens?
Yeah, it is running out, and that means this committee isn't expected to exist for much longer here. That's why they're trying to tie up all the loose ends. The Republicans will take over, and Kevin McCarthy has pledged to do his own investigation. He wrote this letter to Chairman Thompson saying that he wants to investigate the security around the Capitol, so whether or not that happens is to be determined. But look, as Jeff pointed out, this investigation might be over on the Hill for this committee, but the reality is that DOJ has been conducting its largest investigation in history into the events of January 6th, and that, of course, will continue.
And that investigation now in the hands of special counsel Jack Smith, right?
Good.
Have I got that name? And somebody will correct me on that. Forgive me.
It's been a couple weeks since we reported on that.
I got a head cold. Nothing's working up there.
We're old.
But there we go. But Jeff, so now special counsel Jack Smith has this case and has now apparently subpoenaed election officials out in the states. How significant is that? I know we heard what seemed to be evidence of crime in then President Trump's phone call to election officials in Georgia, where he says, "Fellas, find me 11,000 votes." How significant are these subpoenas to local election officials by the special counsel's office?
Well, they are significant because what looks like is happening is that the DOJ, or the special counsel, is looking at the question of whether or not the former president attempted to obstruct a governmental proceeding, the counting of electoral votes, or conspired to do so. He may also be looking at the pretty controversial potential charge of seditious conspiracy. And what it looks like he is doing is expanding the search for evidence, potentially to encompass some kind of conspiracy charge or series of conspiracy charges that are more wide-ranging than those that we had contemplated at the outset.
So, Catherine, last week, a federal appeals court indicated that it's skeptical of Trump's claims that he is immune from liability in 3 lawsuits related to the attack on the Capitol. So what do we know about those cases and how far they'll go?
Yeah, look, so these 3 different cases have been consolidated into one before the appeals court. And Trump's lawyer made the argument that if Trump was speaking about a matter of public concern, for example, that he's immune from civil liability in any way, speaking of the rally at the Ellipse on January 6th, the judges seemed a bit skeptical of that argument. There's no indication when they will rule. Your guess is as good as mine, but that could be coming soon. Kara and Terry.
Well, Jeff, let me ask your take on that particular legal matter. A civil suit against the President of the United States for a speech he made that may have incited that attack in which people were injured. I just wonder, I mean, what does that work for you legally?
Look, there are significant First Amendment arguments that the Trump team has to consider whether or not the charges attempt to obstruct a governmental proceeding or seditious conspiracy. Their argument is the president can't make a speech, can't make a series of speeches, can't urge others to demonstrate, can't ask for legal advice, however wrongful or how wrong it is. Those are the kinds of arguments that will make these kinds of charges that are being contemplated not slam dunks. They're not slam dunks. And the point that you make is a very good one. There is an argument or a basket of arguments that Team Trump has in that regard.
Katherine Faulders, Jeff Robbins, a lot to follow. Thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.